He called me Brokan in front of the judge. Then my sealed military file was opened. The courtroom went dead silent. The moment the man who once promised to love me forever looked at the judge with pure terror in his eyes. For 2 brutal days, Derek had paid his high-priced legal team to paint me as a shattered, unstable veteran, someone completely unfit to raise our own son. He stood there so sure of himself, but the second Judge Eleanor Voss cracked open my sealed military record. Every ounce of colour drained from his face. She adjusted her glasses and read a single line out loud. That one line changed everything in the room. Derek muttered that it couldn't be true. His voice barely carried in the silence, and up in the gallery, his new wife's smug little smile disappeared completely. For the first time in 10 years, the father of my child looked afraid, because the truth was finally about to come out. Before we get into this one, quick question. Where are you watching from tonight? Drop your country in the comments below, and if you're here for the ride, hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. A decade earlier, I came home from my final deployment looking nothing like the hero everyone kept calling me. My transport landed on a grey, miserable afternoon, and my mind was fogged thick with painkillers. I still remember the sting of hospital antiseptic, the heavy metal braces locking my shattered left leg in place, and the sharp knife of pain in my chest with every single breath. Our convoy had been hit overseas by an explosion that left me with broken ribs, a crushed pelvis, and a knee that would never work the same again. I'd managed to drag 2 young soldiers out of a burning vehicle before the blast threw me across the dirt road. Even facing months of brutal physical rehab, I felt one thing keeping me going. I was going home to my husband and our 3-month-old son, Eli. Derek met me at the hospital with a huge bouquet, smiling for the cameras, holding my hand every time a nurse walked by. I honestly believed I was the luckiest woman alive. I had no idea he'd already decided to leave us. 2 days later, he walked into my recovery room with a thick envelope and dropped it cold on my hospital blanket. He told me the divorce papers were already signed. He said he never signed up to take care of someone. I stared at him through a haze of medication, completely broken, as he pointed at my wheelchair and said, "Our baby's better off without me anyway." There wasn't a trace of guilt in his eyes when he walked out and left me completely alone. My older brother Marcus drove me home to an empty house. Derek's closet cleared out, half the furniture gone. A neighbour later confirmed Derek had already moved a woman from his office into a downtown luxury condo. The timeline made it clear. His betrayal started long before I ever deployed. Every morning became a fight against my own body, while I tried desperately to take care of my baby boy. I taught myself how to transfer from bed to wheelchair without dropping Eli, forcing myself not to cry when my ribs screamed. My therapist told me something I never forgot. Kids don't remember the parent who left, they remember the one who stayed. After 18 months of hard rehab, I was medically discharged and had to figure out who I was without a uniform. My old commanding officer, Colonel Abigail Reyes, offered me a civilian logistics position with the Department of Defense. That job let me give Eli a stable life in a modest little townhouse that finally felt safe. Derek paid his court-ordered support over the years, but otherwise vanished completely from our son's life. That fragile peace shattered on an ordinary afternoon, when a certified letter showed up at my door. Derek was filing for full legal and physical custody. He claimed my injuries and my trauma made me an unfit person, and he wanted till I'd gone from my life for good. My attorney, Renee Castillo, helped me pull together medical records, school reports, and character statements to prove our home was completely stable. That's when we found out the real reason. Eli had just been accepted into an elite leadership academy, and Derek wanted him as an accessory, a way to collect credit for a son he barely knew. During the trial, Derek's lawyer called me disabled again and again, questioning my mental stability because of what I'd survived in combat. Judge Voss demanded the full, unredacted military file the court would never be given. The room went ice cold as the judge broke the seal and started reading my service record out loud. She read that I had refused medical evaluation multiple times, despite life-threatening injuries, until every single person under my watch was safe. The Army's official psychological evaluation concluded that my decision-making under extreme stress had been exemplary, with flawless emotional stability. Derek's lawyer lowered her head, watching their entire case about my incompetence collapse in real time. Judge Voss looked down at Eli and gently asked if his mother took good care of him every day. My 10-year-old son looked the judge straight in the eye and said I never stopped, even when my own body hurt. He told the court I always said soldiers don't leave people behind, and I never left him behind either. The judge denied the custody request immediately. She said a person doesn't get to vanish for the hard years and only come back once there's something to gain. She ordered a strict, supervised, step-by-step visitation plan to protect Eli's emotional well-being above everything else. Derek sat in total silence, finally beaten by the truth he'd spent years trying to twist. Outside the courthouse, Derek came up to me without any of his usual arrogance, crying, admitting he'd been unbelievably selfish. He confessed he'd spent years convincing himself I was the broken one, when really, he was the one who ran. Eli listened quietly and decided he wanted to get to know his father, but made it clear it would happen on his own terms. Slowly, in the years since, Derek actually showed up consistently and started volunteering with an organisation that supports wounded veterans. Today, Eli is getting ready for college, a genuinely kind